I mean, it's something that happened in my family to my grandmother. They told her she was stupid, and so she believed that her entire life. And I think some of the stuff I go through is because it's like, I'm going to show you I can do this. I will prove to you I am not stupid, and I'm going to do it. Watch me. That's where I almost take it to the other extreme. I feel like you're going to say something here.
Have you told me that before about your grandmother?
No, I don't know. Have I?
I didn't.
You looked surprised.
I didn't remember that fact. So when you said it, I'm kind of like, whoa, that adds a whole new spin on all of this.
And then, like, last time I went home, I was driving around, and my grandparents bought this big house on the corner. They have this huge, like, flower garden. In the center, they have a fountain, probably the only fountain in the town, you know. But it was like this giant status symbol of, look what I accomplished. Look what I did. I'll show you. Just watch it. Look, I proved to you. This need to prove our worth. And I was like, oh, that's where it's from. The need to prove my worth to other people. Like, just watch me. I'll show you.
So those watch me battles between you and me, they can get pretty dug in from time to time.
I don't realize it's happening, though, when it's happening. Until later, I'm like, oh. So Matthew and I used to share an office, and occasionally he would pipe in and be like, I don't remember. He'd say something. I'm like, oh. Like, I can't even see it.
One day, pastor said something in passing. He was just being his snarky self. And he didn't even remember.
You called me snarky?
You're snarky.
Okay.
Sometimes. But it was the Holy Spirit challenging. You know, you were challenging me, and it was beautiful. And he said something about, oh, are you going to show us how smart you are now? And I felt gutted. I was just.
He probably didn't even realize.
He didn't remember it. But it did bring me back to a time when, as an adult, I had confronted with love my dad about his very critical spirit toward me in front of my children. And
you confronted him in front of your children,
or
you confronted him about
being critical
in
front of my children.
Okay, yeah.
And I said to him, Dad, you know, all my life, the only thing I've ever wanted is your approval. And I've never been good enough to get it. And so when I'm here on the weekend for 48 hours, if you could find no fault with me, that would be amazing. But failing that, if you could just not verbalize it, especially in front of my kids, I'd appreciate it. And tears like welled up in my dad's eyes. And I've never witnessed this in him. And he turned around and walked out. He didn't say anything, but then he called and left a voicemail on my phone. And he said, my old man was real hard on me. And I guess I've been really hard on you. And he said, you always act so tough. I thought you could take it. I didn't know that it hurt you so much.
You're talking about not having worth in things you weren't competent in. I just was thinking, like, what would it even look like to have value or worth poured into you in the middle of your failure? Like, what would that do to a person to, instead of being criticized or cut down for their failure, to somehow, and I don't even know what this looks like. Like, I'm just like, it just popped in my head. But like, what would that even look like? And what kind of power would that have to say, yeah, you failed, but that's okay?
You either set up a compliant generation, which I don't really want to raise compliant kids, or you set up a rebellious generation. I sure don't want to raise rebellious kids. So how about if we do more of this partnership thing, which ties in with heart change? And so the whole idea of partnership and heart change, it's a part of everything I do, from child raising to dealing with, fighting spirit daughter-in-laws, or, something like that.
We talked about this last week, or was it Thursday? I don't remember. I had no idea about this, like, what was the word?
Confrontation?
Confrontational, like, attitude?
You're not like that?
Well, and I wouldn't say that. I just said that I'm doing it now. I never saw myself that way. And I was talking to Derek about it. I was like, oh, I like to argue. I don't shy away from it. I'm like, let's do it. Let's go. I saw the result.
Okay. Yeah.
And I later recognized like his way was a more godly way.
Cool.
That he maintained relationship. He maintained nothing he did. Oh, stop smiling. He's smiling over here.
It's his son.
Well, can I break in just a minute?
Yeah.
It's his son.
You're an administrator. Did you hear what your first words were?
No.
I saw the result. I saw that it worked practically. So, okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. But if you would have like expected me to do these steps, I would have thrown the thing out the window and be like, yeah, whatever. No. But like I had to see this in real life to be like, oh,
Right.
that works. It's weird. Derek has a very physical job. He's in construction. And so I can see when he's been worn down. I can see where there is nothing left in him to give. There's nothing left. And so I can recognize sometimes that this isn't the best moment to bring this. And so while he's okay for the most part, spiritually, he has very little left of himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that a spiritual flow, just being exhausted?
Oh, your body has tremendous impact on spiritual things. I mean, spirit, soul, and body are one. So when your body is exhausted, absolutely, it reflects up. Let's just start on your brain. Your brain works slower during that period of time. Your emotions are more fragile. Mm-hmm. And spiritually, there's a kind of a spiritual exhaustion that goes with it. Now, occasionally you have people who they can be physically exhausted, but still spiritually, emotionally, intellectually engaged. But that actually is rare. Typically, if your body's done, you're done.
So pick your battles, choose your timing, be prayed up.
Are they willing? Where are they at?
Yes. Yes. Where are they? How can we partner? You know, I heard that word when you were talking about children and or teenagers. And I think that is so important, especially to a teenager or even somebody who's in that arrested development stage where it's more important to hear, I'm not going to leave you. What are we going to do to move forward? How can I support you in making these changes in your life?